provided a bit of a dilemma. They needed a second bridge to ease the traffic on London Bridge, but they also didn't want to interfere with all the boats and traffic that was going on in the Port of London, which is the area directly after Tower Bridge. It was the busiest port in the world, and so the answer to that was to build a bascular bridge, a combined suspension and bascular bridge. That basically means these middle bits open for big, tall ships to pass through. And if you look it up as well, there's a walkway across the top. We've added an exhibition recently. You see the glass floor up there. If you fancy looking down at the River Thames from over 140 feet, that's the place to do it. And apparently, so long as you don't weigh heavier than an elephant, it's quite safe. So this whole area, as I said, is known as the Old Port of London. So in its heyday, which was all the way up to the 1930s actually, it was the busiest port in the world. 9,000 barges worked here every day. So you could actually cross the River Thames on your feet without even getting your socks wet, simply by jumping from boat to boat. A further 50,000 ships visited here every year. It was just a fantastically busy port, brought lots of money into London. However, the whole area became derelict in the 1940s due to containerisation. So then, for years it was forgotten, and then in the 1980s, some very clever Japanese businessman decided to buy all these wharfs. So you'll see Butler's Wharf and Spice Wharf. He bought all these wharfs, and he turned them into multi-million-pound apartments. So if you want to live in Butler's Wharf, it will cost you anything from 3.5 million to 40 million if you want the penthouse. It's probably worth it to have a fantastic view like this of Tower Bridge outside of your window. If I could just remind you to stay seated, please. The captain needs to be able to see. If you're taking photos upstairs, can you please take your seats? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we have a wonderful view now of Tower Bridge. And also a little snapshot of old and new London where they meet. Behind Tower Bridge you've got some examples of the fabulously shaped architecture that's popping up around London. We've got the Shard on the left, over 600 feet tall, the tallest building in Western Europe. In a fire in 1834. Some naughty MPs wanted to fix the ballots. They decided to burn the ballot papers, and they actually managed to burn the entire building down at the same time. So it's rebuilt around 1860 by Pugin and Barry. And then the clock tower that most people think is called Big Ben is not called Big Ben, it's called Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben actually refers to the 14-ton clock that keeps time for the nation. It has some for over 160 years now actually. Chimes on the hour every hour. There are of course smaller bells inside there called the Westminster chimes. They chime every 15 minutes. Now Big Ben and all its workings and cogs and wheels are about to have a little MOT. Their first MOT in 150 years. So Big Ben's about to fall silent for a year or two as they fix all the little nooks and crannies in there, shall we say. So outside the House of Parliament you'll see there are green and red tents, and then up ahead the bridge that's called Vauxhall Bridge has red arches. This is basically because inside that building there are two houses. There's the House of Parliament where we have elected MPs, and the House of Lords where we have peers. And they're not allowed to mix. They're not allowed to talk about legislation or discuss any secrets. This is to prevent corruption. So the House of Lords is upholstered in red, the House of Commons is upholstered in green. And also the bridges. In the medieval times, in Victorian times, they were not even allowed to cross the River Thames together. So if you're on the House of Lords, you had to cross by the red bridge, and if you're in the House of Commons, the green bridge behind us. So just to move your attention away from the Houses of Parliament for a second, and as the boat turns, still looking ahead, slightly to your left, you'll see three buildings that all look the same with two chimneys on. This is where Florence Nightingale actually set up her nursing school. And Florence Nightingale invented many things, but the one I'm most amazed about, she invented the notion of washing our hands between operations. Can you believe no one had thought about that until then? So there used to be 7 buildings. They were all named after days of the week. This is Monday, Tuesday, sorry, no it's not. This is Friday, Saturday and Sunday we have left. The others were actually destroyed during the war. So we plumped them in the tower. It's not our fault that it spelled Oxo. And the judge brought that excuse. It's now owned by Harvey Nichols, nothing to do with Oxo, but it's forever known as the Oxo building, and they have free advertising forever and ever and ever. Blackfriars gets its name from the fact there used to be a Dominican friary on the left. All the friars wore black, hence the name Blackfriars, but it's got a nickname, another nickname. We've got lots of things with nicknames around here. The nickname for these sets of bridges is called 2.5 bridges. You'll be able to see why in about 2 seconds. So the half bridge there, which is just the pillars, I will tell you about on our return journey. Because of the tides, we're going quite fast on our way out and a bit slower on our way back. So I'll tell you all about the 2.5 bridges on our return journey. But for now, I'd like you to take a look to your left. And rather sadly, you're going to get the best view you're ever going to get of St Paul's Cathedral. It's the big grey dome popping out from all these ugly buildings. Prince Charles very vocal about the architecture around here, very upset about how many ugly buildings have swamped St Paul's Cathedral, and I think he's right. It's a beautiful cathedral. It's built in 1710 by Sir Christopher Wren, and it actually replaced the original. The original burnt down in the Great Fire of London in 1666. So this was rebuilt by 1730, and it is 365 feet tall. That's one for every day of the year. And you'll notice there's a large cross on the top. At the time, this was the tallest building. The cross could be seen all the way around London. Now, Sir Christopher Wren actually wanted to put a golden pineapple up there. He wasn't joking. At the time, a pineapple represented wealth and welcomingness and all this sort of stuff. But I guess more sensible minds overruled him and said maybe a cross would be more appropriate. But there are actually pineapples carved into the building all around, actually. If you go and see St Paul's Cathedral, have a look for some pineapples.